Now let's take a look at our PM module. So I've gone to Admin, PMs, and any existing PMs that you have already in the system will populate on your Manage PM page, but to create a brand new PM, we'll go to Add, and we'll essentially fill out this form. We'll give it a title. I like to input easy identifiers, just that way the next time I need to go searching for this PM, I make it easy on myself to help me find it. So I'll do quarterly HVAC PM, then we'll enter our asset type. In this case is HVAC, and you'll just choose from a list of your available asset types. Same thing with your trade dropdown. Choose which trade you'd like to route these PM work orders to. Under category, we're going to leave it as maintenance, and then our priority level, I'm going to go ahead and update to a level 7 or 30 days. Most clients do like to use level 7 for their PM work orders. It just reflects to the vendor, hey, I'm giving you the whole month to get this done. Of course, on their actual PM work orders, they can provide their ETAs for service per location, but if you'd like to use something else for your company, feel free to do so. Just for today, I'm going to go ahead and stick with level 7. In our location dropdown, this is where we're going to identify which stores are affected by this PM. Even if the NTE, frequency, and vendor are going to vary from location to location, no big deal. We can make those edits at the store level here in a second. But on our master PM, we're just going to look at which locations are going to be a part of this service. You'll also be able to select the service provider that is going to receive these work orders. If they vary from location to location, again, no big deal, but if all of these work orders are headed to one vendor, or the majority of these work orders are headed to a specific vendor, you can knock that out right at the top of the PM. So I'm going to use Manny Service Company. You'll see that you have a little drop-down menu, and these are vendors that have specifically said that they work on HVAC items. Anybody that has the trade of HVAC is being presented to me here, but if I wanted to look at my full vendor list, I could by tapping on additional service providers. Keep in mind this is only going to reflect vendors that have accepted your invitation. If they've not yet accepted your service provider invite, they will not populate on this list. But I'm happy with Manny Service Company. And then we'll input the NTE. This is per service, per location. So this is not your yearly contract total. This is a not to exceed limit per work order. Then under service frequency, you'll have two options: service months and days between. So under service months, this is if it's just a service per month. And your page will look like this. You'll have a list of your service months. So if it was annual, just once a month, or once 1 month per year. If it's biannual, you can reflect that here. If it's quarterly, so service months is just reflecting a single service happens in a given month. Days between service, this is great if it's multiple services within a month. So if you have a weekly PM or bi-weekly, so if it's weekly, every 7 days I want a PM generated. Every 14 days I want a PM work order generated. So that's the difference between the two. Service months is one service in a given month. Days between is multiple services within a month, and then you can define how often a PM should be created. I'm going to use service months, and let's do, I want to do November, January, I got off, August, September, there we go, August, September, perfect. Alrighty. Date of month, think of that as the work order creation date. So I want my work orders created on the 1st, and then we'll input our start date, which I'm going to do the 1st of the next month. Start date is essentially when this PM is going to become active, just to make things easy on myself. Since November is my next service month, I'm just going to say November 1st. I could go ahead and do next week. I could do October 25th, but just to make it easy on myself and to help me keep things consistent, I'm going to go ahead and just do my next service month is November, so my start date, I'm going to make that November 1st as well. Then create work order in advance field. This is required, so you cannot input a 0 here, but this is just going to, whatever value greater than 0 that you input here, the work order will be created X number of days in advance of your start date. So I'm just going to input 1 day in advance, so October 31st my work order would be created. And then it's also going to show me my next service date, which is November 1st. So all of these fields kind of work hand in hand with each other depending on what you've input, but depending on your service month, date of month, start date, create a work order in advance, that will generate the date that you see in your date of next service. Then in the description, this is where you'll input what your expectations are or what the PM is for, so you can communicate expectations to your vendor, or you can just outline for the operators what's going to happen on this PM. And then if you have a PM checklist or any sort of attachments or documents that you need associated with the PM, you can upload those here. So I'm going to say bi-monthly HVAC PM. And then we'll click submit. And that's going to generate our master or parent PM. So here it is right down here. I have my PM ID. If I need to make edits at the location level, I'll open my PM up, and you'll notice that when I click edit, on the parent PM, these are the only things that I can change. So scheduling can be updated at the location level. That's the little note that it gives me. So if there's anything that I need to change here, I can. Otherwise, I'll go back to PM details. You'll notice that you have 3 additional tabs: work orders, invoices, and location. Work orders and invoices are going to show you work orders and invoices that are related to this PM ID. Of course, you'll have access to those items in the normal work order and invoice modules, but this is just a shortcut to show you specifically what work orders or invoices are associated with PM ID 4953. But to make edits per location, we'll click on the location tab and scroll over to the far right hand side. You'll see an action column with an edit icon. This is where you can edit the vendor, frequency, and NTE per location. So if Anaheim's NTE actually needs to be 600, I can update that. I can click edit, and I can update my NTE to 600 right here. If they actually were going to be serviced monthly, I can make that update as well. Just remember to click submit, your page will update, and then you can go back to your PM details, and that will take you to the location tab for that master PM, and you can continue to make any edits that you need. And then of course have the ability to review right here. So that's how you create and edit PMs. And then of course, if you ever need to inactivate it, you have the ability to do so right here. You'll see an active button, or back on your Manage PM page, you will see the active icon. Remember, nothing ever gets deleted from the system. It will then populate under your Show Inactive filter for your review and reference later if you need it.